Kyle, amazing that we get a chance to talk. And, I wish it could be in person, but with this whole COVID-19 thing going on around the world still, even though Ontario is dealing with stage 3, who knows what's going to happen in the next couple of months. How are you holding up throughout all this? I mean, with COVID-19, racism being spoken to in the forefront, you hear what's going on in the U.S. with their elections and how they're dealing with COVID. And how, we're blocking the border from coming across. And people arguing about masks and not wearing masks. I mean, how are you dealing with all of this and still being able to get your career going? And congratulations on the new single.
Thank you. Really, with everything that's going on in the world right now, it's a little easy to get overwhelmed. And since there's it's easy to get overwhelmed. But what I've been trying to do is, keep on top of my career while looking at all these issues that are around us and trying to just take in as much as I can. I've been making new songs. I've been participating in a lot of different auditions and stuff, and projects that I've been working on, but while still trying to keep on top of all these issues, I suppose.
How important has the arts been for you during this tough time?
Really, I think the arts have been a lifesaver for me because, being indoors a lot with stay-at-home orders and stuff like that, and not even being able to really do tours because of borders closing and venues closing. I think just being able to immerse myself in my music and my acting has really helped me kind of, pay less attention to the fact that there's a global pandemic going on. And I think without it, I would have had a much harder time kind of coping with it.
So just curious, though, are you watching Netflix? Are you watching Annie with an E?
Oh, boy. Yeah, so I'm on the show Anne with an E, the Netflix TV show, and I've seriously watched that show maybe 3 times now during quarantine. One of my favorites, not because I'm biased or anything, of course not. But
what is it like? But what is it like to watch? I've actually never asked this to an actor before, so this is interesting. What is it like to watch yourself, and especially when you're on a show that is globally seen?
So it's different for everybody. For me personally, whenever I see myself on TV, I'm always like, oh my gosh, that's me? That's what I look like? Especially, because on Anne with an E, I have my hair all parted down the middle. I'm wearing these old-timey clothes from, 1890s. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on? But it's also, it's really kind of, it makes me feel really good because, as you said, I'm being seen by a global audience. And all these people are watching me perform and all, watching this incredible story unfold on live TV. So it's really a really special experience.
It's kind of funny because I'm going to make a comparison with you with somebody back in the 80s, Rick Springfield. I don't know if you know who that is or not. But he was an actor / rock star. He had a lot of great hits back then. And in fact, he was one of the stars of a soap opera.
Oh.
And it's funny because he played a doctor in the soap opera, and you're playing this character and within the E, and then when we see your music careers, I mean, he's got the guitar going, and he's playing the rock pop kind of thing, and then I'm looking at you in this new video. You got the leather jacket, you got the guitar, you're doing the rock pop. I'm going, wait a minute, am I just seeing is this mirror image going on? I mean, what is it like for you to go from, and I want to use, and of course I use the term respectfully, one persona to another persona?
Well, I think for me, it's every time I step on stage to do a performance of some sort in acting, it's always becoming like putting myself into another character. And when I step on stage for a musical performance, it's just it's not playing another character. It's just straight up being me on a stage for everybody. So it's different, but at the same time, it's kind of the same where I'm putting myself out there into a different role as an entertainer or as an actor.
How do you balance the two?
Well, sometimes, when I obviously do a lot of practice with acting and music, and some days, I'm so stuck on the entertainer mode that I can't even focus on, another character because I'm like, oh, I'm ready to perform, I'm ready to perform. And some days it's the opposite where I'm ready to, act as a different character and I can't really find myself performing. But for the most part, it's a good balance.
Well, let's talk about this new balance. Let's talk about the music. Let's talk about the new single, music video, No Better. What was the
Mhm.
concept of the single? And talk a little bit about the concept of the video, please.
Of course. So this new song, No Better, is a continuation of my first visual album called Beats in a Bagel Shop. And the story is that in No Better, I was trying to rekindle a relationship in my past. And as I started to reconnect with this person, I started to realize that a lot of the problems that we were having that drove us apart in the first place were still there. So that's kind of the foundation for that song. And of course, as I said, that since it is a extension of Beats in a Bagel Shop, my first visual album, the music video actually is also an extension of Beats in a Bagel Shop. So visual album had 7 music videos that all tied in together, and this is the 8th final music video that ties into that story.
How important is it for you to really change the concept of music videos? And the reason why I say that is because for a while, basically music videos were just maybe performances, maybe just something that people can see so that when it's on YouTube or wherever else, Vimeo, they could see it while listening to it. You've taken it to a different aspect. Why was it important for you to go there and not just telling a story, but it's almost like a visual concept?
Mm-hmm. So for me, I think that like the concept of a visual album for me is really important, and telling a story with your music videos, because as an actor, I guess, whenever I hear my own music, I go, oh, I could do this, I could do that. And so just being able to tell not only the story with the song, but also reenact that story within a music video, I think it's something that I enjoy doing, and I think it's something that my fans enjoy.
You also have a certain female in this video. Can you talk about her, please?
So I had Bella Martinez, who was also, she played the mean girlfriend in my first 7 music videos for Beats in a Bagel Shop. She's also on this Amazon TV show called YA, and she has been fantastic throughout the whole thing. We were communicating. She was in California to film this music video, actually, while I was here in Canada. So we had some communication going, and we filmed it all in separate locations, and it turned out beautiful.
I was going to say, how hard was it to do? Because I do believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, this was filmed during the whole pandemic?
Like we had just gotten stay-at-home orders, and we were like, oh, this is going to be incredibly different. But, you know, we both ended up filming in our houses with Zach Spence was my filmographer, and we filmed in my basement. You would never believe it was my basement, but still, it was my basement. And she filmed at home with her brother, who was also a filmographer. And then we ended up putting both of those clips together, and that made our final music video for No Better.
What is it like for you knowing that when you have a difficult situation and you turn it into gold, what does that feel like? Because you had this very difficult problem happening, and you made it work.
So honestly, like when I'm faced with a problem, like it does feel a little bit like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to get over this. But really just sitting myself down and going, no, I'm able to do this. I have to make the most of this. And, you know, there's some people that are going to be going through this exact same thing, and they're not going to know how to handle it. But I need to know how to handle it. And when you finally pull that off and, you know, we filmed this music video, we made it work, it's really just, it's a feeling like no other. It just makes me feel like extremely proud of not only myself, but everybody involved.
You're doing it, my friend. You're doing a lot of great things. What's happening in the future right now? Of course, we can't come out and see you perform, but are you doing any virtual performances right now? And also, you mentioned a little bit about projects. Are we going to be seeing some new projects coming up with you too on the big screen or the small screen?
Well, I just talked about my visual EP. I'm actually making a new visual EP right now with new music and, of course, a new storyline for music videos. So that's one big thing that's coming up for me, as well as I just had a movie release that was, you know, about a month ago. It's called Killer Prom. It was an interesting experience. It's on Lifetime and Amazon Prime, and I'm also, as you said, doing a lot of virtual concerts lately, which I think is a fantastic medium for not only, you know, performing, but connecting with people like my fans.
Amazing. Social media is the place to go. Where do we go to follow you?
At the Kyle Meagher on Instagram and Twitter, Kyle Meagher on Facebook, or on my website, www.kylemeagher.com.
Kyle, before we go, we've talked about COVID and all the crazy things that are going on in the world. There are a lot of young people who are, as you said, feeling overwhelmed, especially as we speak. Is this a short time away when a lot of them are going back to school and are really worried about, what's going to happen? Is there any advice that you can give folks out there that hopefully that, they can stay the course, keep going the way they want to go, and not let everything get to them as tough as it is right now?
Really, I think that people just have to take it one day at a time. Obviously thinking ahead is important, but some days when it gets overwhelming, just sit down and say, this is what I'm going to do today. I don't need to worry about, pandemics or all of that. I just need to focus exclusively on, my task at hand. Or even, I know some people are also going back to school and are nervous about, is it going to be online? Is it not going to be online? But still, I guess just making yourself believe that it's all going to be good and convincing yourself of that is going to be very important for some people.
You've done it, and you've been a success at it. Thank you so much for this interview. Great talking to you as always, and cross fingers that we can finally do these interviews in person in the future.
Of course. It'd be great.
You take care, and we'll talk soon.